Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today I want to show you that you don't have to have expensive supplies to be able to create beautiful cards. Now, this stamp set here, this is a small stamp set, about 3 by 4 inch, and this is from American Crafts, the Dreamer collection. Now, these are acrylic stamps rather than photopolymer, but I think that with some good ink, then you're going to be just fine. And I want to show you a few cards that you can make today, 3 different types of cards that you could make today that are just really easy. You don't have to have all expensive things. So I'm only actually going to use some of these. I'm using the ones that I'm pointing out here, basically the big flower, and that has a couple of layering pieces. And I'm going to use one of the leaves. Now, obviously, there are far more options here. There are a couple of sentiments, there are a butterfly, a smaller flower, and a couple of different leaves. Now, I am going to use the only dye inks that I actually own, so I am going to use some of my Gina inks. The colors are the light, medium, and dark Orchid, and then the grass green. Now, I do think if you are going to use acrylic stamps, there are some tricks as well, but honestly, I think having a good ink is a good start, and it is a good investment. These are going to last you a long, long time. But it does mean that with a good quality ink, these actually stamp beautifully. Now, if you are having trouble, one little trick that you can do is to add some sticky embossing ink, some like VersaFine ink or something like that, and run your stamp through that first, stamp with that a couple of times, and then use your normal ink, and that might help. But actually, you can see that these are stamping just fine. And if they don't stamp fine, then that's okay too, because nobody is going to notice. I will say also with the Gina inks that these even out beautifully. Now, I'm using nothing fancier than a black pen to add in a line for the stem. 2 little lines is going to do us, and then I'm going to stamp out these leaves, one on each of those little stems there, and that is going to be just beautiful. Again, these are stamping really, really nice. I'm going to use some of the green ink just popped onto an acrylic block, and I will use it as a bit of a watercolor because the Gina inks are water reactive, and then I will just do half of each leaf. I could have done the full thing, but you know, half is just good too. Then I will take the same ink and I'm just going to ground these flowers a little bit, give them something to come out of. And so I've just gone direct to paper to get a little bit of green cardstock. You might already have some green cardstock that would work well too, but this way everything will also coordinate nicely. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a really simple design, but actually simple can be beautiful and well worth doing. So I will note that there is a whole Dreamer collection, and actually there are also the dies that I didn't purchase them. I think it says they coordinate, but I'm not sure if they're going to leave a little white border or not. I haven't tried them, so I can't comment, but this little stamp set was about $4 US, and so pretty cheap, but I think we achieved some pretty good cards. Now, it's not lost on me that, of course, you have to buy other materials like glue and ink pads and all those sorts of things, but stamps and dies can be a real investment in paper crafting. And so I just want to let you know that when you pick up stamps from the cheap and cheerful shop, or you pick them up secondhand, then you are good to go. There are fabulous options out there for you. Now, I am just going to use this sentiment just because it is a nice, easy one. It's big and bold and bright. And the sentiments, it comes with the one that says favorite and one that says happy. And so, yeah, they don't really make a full sentiment there. So we've had to substitute. But that's okay. I used the same Orchid ink and I did create myself a little border, and then I will pop this down onto a card base, and then with a few little gems, a few little water droplet gems, I think this is a really beautiful, easy peasy card. And truly, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so for this card, full stop. It was so easy to create. Now I want to show you a couple more options as well. Again, same inks, same stamps, ready to go. Now I have also created some masks, and all I do is stamp out the biggest stamp on some Gina masking magic paper. That's my absolute favorite. It will not bleed through no matter how much ink you add on it, so you can reuse and reuse and reuse. And then I'm going to stamp out the first one, all 3 layers. Now these are, you can see how quick I'm doing this. This is really easy. I'm not a big fan of layering stamps if they take time to layer up. These ones are sort of like, yep, pop down and go. And so I have added one of the masks to my center flower, and then I'm going to make like a little, I don't know, a left-hand border or cascading flowers. I'm not sure, but I'm going to sort of cover the left-hand side of my page. I do want to leave some gaps for some leaves, and also you should stamp the whichever flowers or colors you want at the front. You stamp those first, and then you mask them off, and the rest will become background. They'll go into the background. So that's what I'm doing. I just pretty much ignore the mask once it's there and go ahead with my stamping. And it looks like a right hot mess until we get right to the end. So bear with me as per usual. I realize that a lot of my cards look interesting, to say the least, until we sort of, reveal and get near the end. But I'm just stamping to make sure I have a nice good solid amount. And as I said, I am including some of those exact same leaves that I used earlier on. Then the fun part is to reveal and take off these masks, which is always the fun part. And as I said, I really like this masking magic paper. If I know I'm going to be stamping over and over and over on top of it, because I know it's not going to bleed through. So if it bleeds through, it kind of ruins the look a little bit, but I like what we've got here. You could have changed the colors up for sure, but I just wanted to keep it really simple. So we're just stamping those 3 inks. Like you could have done, a purple set of flowers and an orange set of flowers that could have gone together nicely, or purples and pinks, or blues and pinks, or something like that. But I just decided to keep it all one color. Then I'll do the same trick as before. I took some of the grass green color and colored in half of the leaves. Then I am actually going to use the stamp that came in the set. Now this is one look that you can easily achieve, and I'm just going to stamp that happy 3 times in the Orchid ink that I used for the original stamping. Now the happy came with the stamp set, and that would be 1 card. You can add some beautiful little embellishments to it, but we are going to step this up a level and then take it to the next level, which is again super easy. So I'm just going to fussy cut out, but I will leave a little border of this. And I think that just makes the fussy cutting a little bit easier, honestly. And it doesn't have to be too perfect, but with a pair of fussy cutting scissors, it is definitely made a lot easier. These are my little Cutterbees. I've had these forever and ever since I started card making, and I do really love them. Now at this point, you could also add another Orchid layer of solid cardstock, and you could fussy cut around that to give it a nice border. But truly, with a little happy birthday there to the side, stamped off in some VersaFine Onyx black ink, a beautiful pigment stamping ink. And then, of course, now that I have fussy cut out the flowers, I am going to pop them up on a little bit of foam tape and give them a little bit of dimension. I am also going to add some little droplets, some little clear gems, water gems, and that way, again, we're taking it just to the next level. But both of these cards, well, all 3 of these cards, took me no time at all. This was truly a really gorgeous little stamp set. And now that I've used it so much, I am tempted to get the dies. But then again, I'm not sure that that would benefit me a whole lot, because I was happy fussy cutting these. These were pretty easy. So I think I'll leave it, but I am going to use the stamp set again. And I hope that even just showing you that don't bypass those stamp sets, especially if you have already invested in some good inks or inks that you are happy with and that you know stamp well, then yeah, we can create beautiful, beautiful cards. Well, that is today's video for today. If you were inspired by these cards, then I would love to see your versions. So you can post them over at Come Crafting with Natasha on Facebook. We have, as I always say, the best community over there, the most supportive and encouraging community if you'd like to post your cards. And we love to see them. I think all of your cards are gorgeous. The effort and time that goes into them. Everybody loves to be inspired by them, so thank you. But other than that, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.